At the time of this recording, Knott's Scary Farm 2023 is just 15 nights away from opening night. 15 nights away till we step foot in the fog and see what awaits us on the 50th anniversary. And in today's video, I'm going to give you your ultimate survival guide on how to get everything done in regards to mazes and shows at this year's Knott's Scary Farm 2023. Hello everyone, happy spooky season. Spooky season is ramping up, and especially with Scary Farm coming in 15 nights. And if you want to see all of our content and coverage in regards to haunt season, please subscribe down below with those bell notifications on and help us reach 12,000 subscribers. And as always, leave this video a like at the end if you do enjoy it. But I'm going to be giving everyone a guide to Knott's Scary Farm this year with buffet, purchasing the pre-purchase buffet experience and without buffet. And keep in mind, this is only going to revolve around the mazes and the shows. I'm not including attractions or anything like that. I do have recommendations for that, but we're not going to be doing a full guide as far as that goes. So you heard me talk about buffet. Now, what exactly is buffet? Well, it's an add-on that you can do added onto your ticket or onto your Knott's Scary Farm pass. It starts at $45 on select nights, and buffet gets you in at a select time. Now, there are different times. I think the earliest time you can do is like 5:15. Before the event starts, you get a buffet is what it's called, but buffet spin on words. You get a souvenir sipper, which gets you free refills all night, and a digital photo with a monster before you go in. Now, once you get all of your buffet done and all of your eating and whatnot, you get select entry to some of the mazes, which is typically the backlot mazes, Waxworks, Bloodline, the Depths, and Dark Entities, starting at 5:30 before anybody else does. Only the buffet people will get this. So that is highly recommended in my opinion. I've done it before and I'm able to knock out so much stuff right away by purchasing that. It's only $45. It's not required to buy like Fright Lane, the Express Lane, or anything like that. You get dinner, you get a souvenir cup, because it is going to be hot running around the event all night. So I think it's well worth your money. But we're going to start off with the order that I think that you should go in with buffet, with purchasing that extra add-on. So I think you should start off with Bloodline. Bloodline was a very popular maze last year, and the put through of that maze was kind of weird because there was blasters attached to it, so it took a lot longer. I mean, there's wait times that I saw of like an hour and a half along. Now keep in mind, it may be a little bit different this year because it seems like everything that they're saying, they took away the blasters, so it may be a little bit faster of a put through, but I'd still start off with the Bloodline since it's the newest maze in that area. Right after that, you're going to want to hit Dark Entities because Bloodline will exit out right where the Dark Entities entrance is at. So definitely hit Dark Entities. That usually doesn't have a line. It's usually a walk-on, so if you enjoy that one, you can do it twice, but Dark Entities doesn't typically have a line. And it's its final year, so you want to make sure you get your run-through of Dark Entities. Right after that, you're going to go straight into the Depths, also one that typically won't have a wait, especially during buffet. I feel like all these mazes, with the exception of Bloodline, won't really have a wait, and if they do, it'll be like max 5 minutes. Keep in mind with Knott's, there is a lot of times where the posted wait time is a lot longer than it actually is, what I've come to discover, because there's not tons of people going in Fright Lane, so people are just constantly moving through. It's kind of awesome. So yeah, you're going to want to hit the Depths. After that, exit right into Waxworks, which Waxworks can be found at the entrance to the quote-unquote Calico Square type of area. And if for whatever reason you haven't seen the Legacy Store quite yet, or you have time to see the Legacy Store entrance is also going to be right over there where Waxworks is at. So if you want to get your shopping done early, or maybe just go in and see all of the immersive sets and everything that they have brought together for the 50th anniversary Legacy Store, then you can do that right before opening as well. I'm not too sure if the Legacy Store will be open during buffet, but if it is, I think that you should probably hit that if you haven't seen it before. Now, assuming that you get the earliest time possible for buffet, which like I said I think is like 5:15-ish, then you should be done with everything in the backlot area before 7, giving you time to go up to where the opening ceremony's at and watch that from the side. And keep in mind, you'll be let through as soon as the general public's let through at 7 o'clock to the rest of the event. But you're going to want to make your way up to the Grimoire, which will be located in the Mystery Lodge location. another maze that was very long last year, and the reason why it was long as far as the line goes is because there was a pre-show causing the put-through to be a little bit longer. Now, if I know anything with Scary Farm, they do pre-shows with these different mazes, and then they realize that it makes the line a little bit longer, so they should just cut the pre-show. They did it with Mesmer, they did it with Shadowlands, they've done it with a lot of mazes, so I'm assuming they cut the pre-show this year with Grimoire too. Regardless though, if they didn't, you want to get Grimoire done first as your first maze for, you know, the general public 7 o'clock time. I think Grimoire should be the first one that you do, just with the line and seeing the way it moved last year. But after Grimoire, you shoot out into the entryway of Origins, another big popular maze. I believe it's going to be coming up on its fourth or third year for Origins of the Curse of Calico. It's a really popular maze, so you definitely want to check out Origins the Curse of Calico right after. But after you're doing all your running around and everything, and you know, you're already starting to get tired, maybe you're getting a refill on that souvenir sipper that was included in buffet, then it's time to sit down a little bit and sit down and enjoy some live entertainment. And new entertainment in Music, Monsters, and Mayhem located in the Walter Knott Theater. Now, I talked a little bit about this in our announcement video, that I think that this is going to be as close as possible to the Elvira show without it being Elvira. So Music, Monsters, and Mayhem, definitely take a break, sit down a little bit, enjoy the AC and its nice indoor theater, and enjoy that show. Like I said, if you are into the shows and if you just want to do mazes, then just follow this outline without the shows added in, if you get what I'm saying. After the show though, there's actually a brand new maze located right outside of the Walter Knott Theater in room 13, attached to the Goring 20s. The room 13 entrance will either be located in the arcade or just right outside the arcade, right next to Johnny Rocket. So still relatively close to the Walter Knott Theater. I'm not too sure how busy that one's going to be because it is a smaller location, so I'm curious to see, will the line be longer due to that reason, or will it move a lot quicker because people are getting into the maze faster? We'll just have to wait and see as far as opening night goes. And keep in mind, with this whole survival guide, it could change a lot come opening weekend because different stuff could change. This is just my best prediction on what I think is going to be your best route to get everything done. After that, you want to make your way to another new maze. You're going to skip Mesmer for now, and you're going to go to Cinema Slasher. That's going to be located right across from the exit way of Accelerator and right next to the entryway of the Timber Mountain Log Ride, or during Not Scary Farm, the Timber Mountain Log Ride Halloween Hootenanny. Another location that, like with Dark Ride, it would always be super filled up, like that whole queue area would be super filled up and it'd be posted like at a 45-minute wait. But I think that I've waited in one of those busy lines and I only waited like 20 minutes, so like I said, just always be on the lookout for if the Fright Lane queue is filled up, then you can kind of tell if a standby is actually going to match a standby. Whereas if the standby says 40 minutes, but then Fright Lane is empty, then it's probably going to be cut in half for standby. So Cinema Slasher is next, and then you want to make your way down to another show. It's all the way at the front of the park in the Wagon Camp Theater, The Hanging Uncanceled. Now, I'm sure there will probably be like 4 or 5 showtimes, just basing it off when the Hanging used to be around. There was about 4 or 5 showtimes, so the Hanging Uncanceled will definitely be popular this year. You'll want to get there early, at least 20 minutes early before showtime, whenever the showtimes are, if you want to watch the Hanging Uncanceled. A very, very popular show for sure. But we're still missing 2 mazes, and one of them is a new mazes. I know, but having a new maze for one of the very last one is kind of odd, but just basing around when you're going to watch the Hanging and everything, I think it'll work out for everyone. So right off the bat, I think everyone's going to go to Chilling Chambers, like as far as the general public goes, because there's a holding area right next to the entryway of that maze. So right after the Hanging, you can actually kind of dip into the Chilling Chambers entrance. I think that's going to be the best plan, honestly, because by that time, yes, there still may be a line, but I don't think the line will be as big as when it opens right away, that first hour from 7 to 8. So hit the Chilling Chambers after the Hanging Uncanceled. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because we just came back down from Cinema Slasher all the way at the top part of the park, and we still have one more maze to do in Mesmer, which is the other top part of the park, probably the highest part of the park, if you want to say that. But I would take this time to relax a little bit, grab a bite to eat, walk through the brand new scare zone in the Gauntlet, and slowly but surely make your way over to Mesmer. The only reason I say that is because Mesmer, I've never really had an issue with Lion. Just for whatever reason, the former Dark Ride location and the Mesmer location, I've never had a huge issue with lions at all. I mean, at least it'll be posted at a longer wait time, but it won't actually be that. You really got to judge it based on your experience. If you've gone multiple nights this same year and that doesn't work out for you, then kind of switch up the guide a little bit. But just with that location in specific, I've noticed I've never really have an issue, and that honestly works out for me because that's one of my favorite mazes. But if you follow that whole guideline with buffet, of course, then I think that you'll be able to see everything that you want to see. Now, of course, there are some tweaks here, like if you want to see the carnival show, you can maybe change that out for the theater show, or you want to see the show in the Birdcage Theater, you can switch that out for the hanging, etc, etc. Or maybe you want to do the Legacy Store a little bit later on because you want to do it at night for whatever reason. There's just different things that you can tweak around, but I think that this is a good base if you were to purchase buffet. Now I want to compare the two as far as with buffet, what I think my guide should be compared to without buffet. If you just go and get there at 7, no express, no any of that, and I'm going to quickly run through my list. I'm not going to kind of go over, I'm going to quickly run through it and I'll put a comparison up on the screen. So I think without buffet, you should start off with Chilling Chambers, and then Cinema Slasher, and then Mesmer, and move on to Room 13, the Monsters Mayhem show, Grimoire, Origins after that, the Hanging Uncanceled, the show in the Wagon Camp, and then hit Bloodline, Dark Entities, The Depths, and Waxworks, and then that would wrap up your night as far as without buffet. I think starting off with Chilling Chambers is definitely the move if you don't have buffet, because you can literally crowd around that entryway and get that done right away. The only downside of that is it may still be a little bit light outside, and that maze location in specific has been known to have some light leaks, so you're kind of messing with that issue a little bit, but nonetheless, you can do it at night if it's a short wait right before you exit too. I did say that, you know, if you wanted to do the rides, there's a specific thing that you should do. I have some recommendations for that. If you want to do the rides, definitely get the Fright Lane wristband. I think it's somewhere around $150. That's going to provide you access to front of the line for all the mazes and all the attractions, including the log ride, accelerator if it's open, rides like that typically use fast lane during the daytime operation. So if you are one that you don't go to Knott's other than during Scary Fun, then definitely purchase Fright Lane so you're able to do all the rides and all the mazes, because there's really no guide that you need to follow if you are purchasing that front of the line pass, because you can kind of just go at your own pace. There's really going to be no advantage of doing certain things before others. A couple more tips I want to do. I want to say get there about an hour early, so that way you're able to line up outside. They typically open the gates at 6:30 and they drop the rope at 7, so get there early, that way you're able to get good parking. If you're able to and you want to visit multiple nights, the Not Scary Farm Pass is an especially good value, and there are still plenty of quantities available. I know it still says limited quantities, but from as far as I know, there's still plenty available. And if you are a pass member buying a Not Scary Farm Pass, you get a discount and you get a commemorative physical card. So that's a lot of fun, because physical cards at any theme park now for passes are like a thing of the past. So definitely, if you're wanting to go multiple nights, those passes are an especially good value. I want to know down below in the comments section, do you guys have a different guide compared to me as far as getting everything done at Scary Farm? And if so, let us know down below. But for today's video, my name is Scott and you've been watching Exploring Attractions. Please hit that subscribe button with those bell notifications on so you don't miss out on any of the spooky content coming very, very soon. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.